Welcome to Southwest Championship Wrestling. Tremendous lineup for you here from the HemisFair Arena on the 4th of July special. And also here on the 4th of July, it's Bob Sweetan's birthday. And Bob, happy birthday.
Well, thanks, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here. I just want to tell all the people out there watching, it gives me a great pleasure to be here with a couple of guys like Scott Casey, Tommy Rich, and it's good to be on Southwest Championship Wrestling. I hope that people keep watching.
We'll see you in the ring a little later on. Wildfire Tommy Rich, welcome back to Texas.
Thank you very much. You know, it's a pleasure to be here. You know, you got guys like Bob here and Scott, you know, we're teamed up, Southwest Wrestling, World Championship Wrestling. Some of the guys getting together, you know, you got guys like Tully, Blanchard, Buzz, Sawyer, need to be run out of wrestling. We're going to try to take care of a little business.
Yeah, you got a no DQ match coming up later on. Good luck to you. Scott, nice to see you back.
Thank you very much, Steve. I had a great time in Hawaii and over in Atlanta, and it seems like we're going all over the country, and I hope we see a lot of our fans out that way because we sure appreciate you, and I hope you appreciate us, and you're going to see a lot of Georgia and Texan boys together, and together, man, we're going to get it on.
Remember, these three men plus a whole bunch more in the ring here, so don't go away. And down goes Tiger Conway Jr., the referee, Juan Reynosa, questioning Ali Bey the Turk about that shoulder strap. Now he tells him to put it back up, and he does. The Turk in behind, holding on to the head of Tiger Conway Jr. Now he's raking those fingers up around the eyes. Referee makes him break. He broke at a 4 count. He has 5. Ali Bey the Turk, Tiger Conway Jr. from the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio, Texas. 4th of July special. Little hair pulling that time, but the Turk is smart enough. He keeps it away from the referee, Juan Reynosa. Reaches up again. I can see him, but the referee can't. Now Tiger wants to throw that fist. Down goes Tiger Conway Jr. Tiger Conway Jr. up to his knees. Turk trying to figure out how he can get Tiger down to that mat. Of course, you know Tiger wants to do the same thing. Get those shoulders down for the count of 3. Shoulder tackle by the Turk knocks Tiger Conway Jr. down. Over the top goes the Turk as Tiger dropped down. The Turk. Oh, Tiger Conway Jr. comes flying out, flying through the ring, knocks the Turk just about into the crowd. Tiger Conway Jr. may have hurt his shoulder as he came flying through the air. The Turk had gone out of the ring. There's a headbutt on the Turk. Tiger Conway Jr. rolls underneath that bottom rope. Oh, he's ready to go. Looked like he may have hurt his shoulder, but he's okay. The Turk is coming up on the apron. Tiger's ready for him. Oh, Tiger throwing some good ones in there. The Turk is staggered. Drop kick. Down goes Ali Bey the Turk. Tiger Conway Jr. on top. There's a count. It's 2. And the Turk begs a little bit, say, stay back. Don't punch me. The Turk back into the corner. But Tiger Conway Jr. knows better. The Turk trying to catch him off guard, it looks like. And there it comes. As Tiger went in, Turk got him with that knee. Forearm across the chest. Turk with that open hand knocks Tiger Conway Jr. down. He almost went outside the ring, but he stays out underneath that bottom rope. The Turk is choking. Referee says break it. He breaks it to count of 3. Tiger Conway laying underneath that bottom rope. Another count of 3. The Turk holding on to Tiger Conway Jr. as he chokes him with that bottom rope. Now he's backed out of there by Juan Reynosa. Big open hand chop by the Turk. There's another one. Ooh, that looked like a fist. Now Turk throwing in some big ones. There's another one, staggers Tiger Conway Jr. right above me. The Turk with a forearm across the chest of Tiger Conway Jr. as they go into the corner. Tiger Conway Jr. begins to move back away from the Turk, trying to get that second wind. He's got it. A left and a right, and down goes Ali Bey, the Turk. Tiger Conway Jr. with another right, and the Turk hits the mat again. Tiger Conway Jr. stomps ahead of Ali Bey, the Turk. Big chop. Knocks Tiger Conway Jr. in between the ropes, out onto the apron. The Turk is choking again. The Turk with a fist to the throat. Tiger Conway Jr. out on the apron. Ali Bey, the Turk, being pushed back. Here comes Tiger in with a drop kick as he comes over that top rope. Another drop kick. The Turk is down. Tiger grabs him by the arm. Turk reverses it, whips him into the turnbuckle. There's that big forearm again, staggering Tiger Conway Jr. into the corner. Into the corner goes Tiger Conway, but he ducked that time. He's going up on the middle rope. He flies with that flying headbutt. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. Tiger Conway Jr. in a time of 9 minutes and 41 seconds with that flying headbutt off the middle rope. Wins the opening match here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. Stay tuned, because we'll be back with more right after this. Referee Jack Howe keeps an eye on the Sheepherder as Sweet Brown Sugar holds on to the head of the 265-pound Bobby Jaggers. Luke Williams tried to tag in. Sweet Brown Sugar kicked him. There's the tag on the other side. Sweetan now in behind, holds Jaggers as Jaggers thought he was going to lay one in on Sweet Brown Sugar, and Sweet Brown Sugar chops him right across the bridge of the nose. There you can see some of the signs here at ringside at the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio. 2 of them here at ringside. Back to the ring now. It is Bob Sweetan knocking Luke Williams out onto the floor. Williams wasn't supposed to be in there anyhow. It's Bobby Jaggers trying to turn things around for the Sheepherder and Bobby Jaggers. Jaggers makes a tag. I want to remind all you fans that Southwest Championship Wrestling will be in Wichita Falls, Texas on July the 13th. The Sheepherder holding on to Bob Sweetan. Sweetan trying to power his way out. Sweetan has those arms bent in behind. Sheepherder thrown into Jaggers, and the Sheepherder's down. Jaggers almost knocked off the apron. Here's a tag in the other corner. Sweet Brown Sugar is the legal man in the ring. The Sheepherder didn't see the tag. Sweet Brown Sugar pulls him down with that hip toss. Sweet Brown Sugar and Bob Sweetan teamed up to go against the Southwest Tag Team Champions in a non-title match. Luke Williams, the Sheepherder, has made his way out underneath that bottom rope, so he's going to get himself a break. And a break he gets as the referee Jack Howe asks Sweet Brown Sugar to break the hold. comes Jaggers trying to get into the ring. Referee Jack Howe intercepts him. Bob Sweetan comes in. Now the referee Jack Howe goes over and tells Bob Sweetan to get out. The two legal men in the ring, Sweet Brown Sugar and Luke Williams. Off the rope comes a Sheepherder. Oh, a shoulder tackle sends Sweet Brown Sugar to the mat. Over the top this time with Sugar. Another collision, and down goes Sweet Brown Sugar. Over the top goes Sugar. And he catches him and flips him out of there. A nice move by Sweet Brown Sugar. Back to the hip toss, and the Sheepherder is down. Jaggers started in. He saw Sweetan belling in, and he bailed out in a hurry. Here comes Jaggers in again. The referee catches him this time. Bob Sweetan has now made his way into the ring. I don't know if it was a tag or not. I was watching Bobby Jaggers. There's a tag. Down goes the Sheepherder. Jaggers reached in, pulled Sweet Brown Sugar off. Bobby Jaggers, who is now under the New Zealand flag with the Sheepherder, Luke Williams. Jaggers taking the place of Jonathan Boyd, who was injured in an automobile accident. Still in the hospital, the Medical Center Hospital in San Antonio, Texas. Here comes the Sheepherder, diving down to Sweet Brown Sugar, and he got out of the way. Here's a tag, though. Jaggers is coming in. Bobby Jaggers not wanting to do too much battle right now with Sweet Brown Sugar, but finally they hook up. There's the tag. Bob Sweetan has made his way into the ring. Oh, Jaggers gets a knee up on the chin of Bob Sweetan. Now he takes him over to the corner where the Sheepherder is waiting. Jaggers dig tag out. It's 2-on-1. They throw Sweetan back into the turnbuckle. Now Jaggers gets out of there. Sheepherder's up on the middle rope. He dives down there with that fist very close to the throat of Bob Sweetan, and it could be all over. Nope, Sweetan kicks out at the count of 1. Here's a tag. Jaggers has made the legal tag into the ring. He begins to kick. Jaggers with an elbow across the chest of Bob Sweetan. Referee doesn't even get a count on Sweetan. Jaggers holding on to Bob Sweetan with that face lock. Jaggers may be using Sweetan's own trunks to choke him with. I can't tell what he's doing. Jaggers holding on to Sweetan. Sweet Brown Sugar yelling at the fans to chant USA. Luke Williams, the Sheepherder, doesn't like it. He's going crazy. Well, he may already be crazy. You can't tell the way he acts. Jack Howe moves him back into the corner. Now Jack Howe checking on Bob Sweetan. Jaggers doing a little choking. Let's go in a hurry. You saw the referee coming. Here's a tag. Sweetan being held by Jaggers. Luke Williams up on the middle rope. Elbow to the top of the head, and down goes Sweetan. Sheepherder off the rope. May have been a blow to the throat. Looked like he had that hand open up as a karate blow to the throat, and Sweet Brown Sugar thinks so also. Bob Sweetan being choked by the sheepherder, Luke Williams. Sheepherder choking Sweetan again as he laid him over that middle rope. Now he tags out. Here comes Bobby Jaggers. Jaggers going back to the throat. Referee Jack Al makes him break. There's a count on Sweetan, and it's 2. Bobby Jaggers holding on to Bob Sweetan. Sheepherders comes in to help out. Jaggers holding on. Jaggers tags. In behind, it's Luke Williams holding on to Sweetan. Sheepherder holding on to Bob Sweetan. The fans begin to count USA, USA. Sweetan knocked over the rope. There's those double cross fists by Luke Williams. Throws Sweetan in there, gets him up again, but this time Sweetan got one of his own in. He reaches over, tags out. Sweet Brown Sugar comes in. Oh, he's trying to get in there. Jaggers is in, he gets hit. Sweet Brown Sugar throws the heads together. Sweetan has hold of the sheepherder. Throws him out to the center of the ring. There's a drop kick by Sweet Brown Sugar. Sweetan takes Jaggers. There's a drop kick. And Jaggers is dropped with a drop kick by Sweet Brown Sugar. Now it's Sweet Brown Sugar on top of the sheepherder. Bob Sweetan outside the ring has Jaggers up for a pile driver. Sweetan outside the ring had Jaggers up for a pile driver, dropped him on the concrete. In the ring, Sweet Brown Sugar and the sheepherder battling it out. Jaggers outside the ring, still on the concrete. Luke Williams hits the mat. 2 count. Bobby Jaggers here behind me. Down on the floor. Here's a count. Inside the ring, it's 2 again. As Sweet Brown Sugar tries to finish off the sheepherder. Bobby Jaggers was pile drive onto the concrete. He's over here to my left, trying to figure out where he is. Sweetan going after the sheepherder. Remember, this is a non-title match. Big forearm to the top of the head. Here's Jaggers up onto the apron. A count on Luke Williams. He's got his legs over the bottom rope, or it would have been 3. Luke Williams trying to tag out to Bobby Jaggers, but Jaggers is in no shape at all to be able to tag into the ring. Sweetan with a pile driver on Luke Williams. So Sweetan has pile drived them both. Here's the count. 1, 2, and a leg over the bottom rope. Sweetan tags out Sweet Brown Sugar. Luke Williams going over, trying to tag out to Bobby Jaggers. Jaggers cannot make the tag. He doesn't even know what's going on. He was knocked silly by that pile driver from Bob Sweetan. A slam. Sweet Brown Sugar covers him up. Count at 2, and Sheepherder kicks out. Jaggers is still dazed, holding on to the top rope. That's the only thing that's keeping him up. Sweet Brown Sugar Kicks him with that boot. Here comes Sweetan now. Here goes Luke Williams over to make a tag to Jaggers again. Jaggers didn't even see him. Jaggers doesn't know where he is. Count inside the ring, 2. Luke Williams kicks out. There's the tag. Uh-oh. Luke Williams has tagged Bobby Jaggers, who is completely out of it. He doesn't even know what's going on. Williams tried to make the tag a couple times, but Jaggers couldn't even move this time. Luke Williams went over, just reached up there and grabbed him. Here's the count inside the ring, and Jaggers somehow has enough left to kick out. Luke Williams refusing to tag Bobby Jaggers now. Drop kick, down goes Jaggers. Sweet Brown Sugar only gets a 2 count. Bobby Jaggers would like to tag out now to the Sheepherder. The Sheepherder refusing to tag. The Sheepherder refusing to tag Bobby Jaggers, who is in no shape to be wrestling. There's a headbutt. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. It's all over. 20 minutes and 1 second. Sweet Brown Sugar and Bob Sweetan defeat Bobby Jaggers and the Sheepherder. Stay tuned because we'll be... 20 minutes, 1 second. The winner, Bob Sweetan and Sweet Brown Sugar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Jaggers, who was just pinned in that last match, the Sheepherder, Luke Williams, has hit him over the top of the head with that New Zealand flag, and Jaggers is out in the ring. Jaggers is out in the ring as the Sheepherder, Luke Williams, who refused to tag in, then got up there and hit him with that flag. After the match was already over, the Sheepherder can't believe that he and Bobby Jaggers were defeated by Sweet Brown Sugar and Bob Sweetan. Luke Williams is crazy. He don't even know what's going on. He is so mad. And now he leaves against a bad man from Borger, Texas, Stan Hansen. A little over 5 minutes have gone by in this match, and it's been quite a battle between these two big men. Tully Blanchard, the Southwest heavyweight champion, tries to pin the bad man, Stan Hansen, but Hansen kicks out. It's Blanchard with an elbow. Christopher Love, the business manager of Tully Blanchard, off to my left. Watching Tully Blanchard get those big chops from Stan Hansen. Oh, it gets that boot up there and knocks him back into the turnbuckle. Hansen finds himself being reversed and thrown into the turnbuckle. Blanchard goes in with a knee. Elbow to the back of the neck of Stan Hansen by Tully Blanchard. Blanchard with a forearm to the midsection, knocks Hansen down onto that middle rope now, and Blanchard doing a little choking. Blanchard holding on to Hansen, picks him up, takes him back and drops him on that mat. Blanchard with an elbow across the chest of Stan Hansen. Here's a count, and it's 2. I want to remind all you fans, Southwest Championship Wrestling will be in Beaumont, Texas on Sunday, July the 10th. See all you fans there in Beaumont. Hansen, Tully Blanchard down. Hansen reaching in, has him up, slams him to the mat. Here's a count. And it's 2. Hansen to the crowd on his side. Puts a forearm to the back of Tully Blanchard. There's a kick to the top of the head of Tully Blanchard. 285 pounds across the chest. Here's a count, and it's 2, and Blanchard kicks out. Knee to the side of the head of Tully Blanchard by Stan Hansen. There's a big boot to the top of the head. Hansen has things going his way now. A little later on, you'll be seeing the wildfire, Tommy Rich. Over the top, right into the referee, Jack Howe, goes Tully Blanchard. Right into the referee, Jack Howe. Hansen with the lariat. Hansen with the lariat has Tully Blanchard down. Here comes the count, 1, 2, and Blanchard kicks out. Blanchard kicks out. There's a count of 2, and Hansen didn't like it. He thought if the referee would have been over there quick enough, it should have been all over. Over the top as Blanchard is flipped by Stan Hansen. Jack Howe still dazed, trying to shake it off. High in the air goes Hansen with a drop kick. Blanchard has a leg over that bottom rope. Hansen reaches down and grabs him. Stan Hansen reaching in as Tully Blanchard. Oh, Christopher Love from outside the ring. Christopher Love from outside the ring has grabbed the leg of Stan Hansen and tripped him. And that's going to be a disqualification. Tully Blanchard disqualified because of the outside interference from Christopher Love. Stan Hansen wins it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more right after this. Casey Zbyszko going for the leverage. Let's see who comes up with it. Casey trying to power the national heavyweight champion back. So far, it's about equal. Now Zbyszko may have a slight advantage. Zbyszko moving in behind, twisting around, comes around the front and has a headlock, but he doesn't keep it long. Shoulder tackle, down goes Casey. Over the top goes Zbyszko. Oh, a reversal of the hip toss. It's Casey who's down. He kicks Zbyszko off. Flies through the air with an elbow smash, and Zbyszko moved out from underneath. Zbyszko back in behind with a face lock. Ten minutes gone. 10 minutes. Zbyszko, the national heavyweight champion, holding on to Scott Casey at the 10-minute mark. Referee Juan Reynosa asking Scott Casey, would he like to concede? And once again, Casey says no. Larry Zbyszko, a very tough customer. That's why he's the national heavyweight champion. Referee checking the arm of Casey. It looks like he may be out with a sleeper hold. Nope, not quite. Casey still has enough left. Fans yell, go Scott, go. Casey trying to make the move. He'd like to get out of this, get things going around, shake out the cobweb. Zbyszko holding on to the side headlock as Casey tries to maneuver. Larry Zbyszko yelling to the timekeeper to ring the bell, but there's no reason to ring the bell. Scott Casey has not conceded as Casey has him up and drops him across the knee. Scott Casey has dropped Larry Zbyszko across that knee, just as the national heavyweight champion thought he might have Casey in a position to concede the match. Casey with a side suplex. The national heavyweight champion's down. Casey drops the knee very close to the throat of Zbyszko. Here's a count. 1, 2, And Zbyszko has a leg over the bottom rope. Casey drops across that leg that was laying over that bottom rope, and Zbyszko will be limping now. There's a kick. Zbyszko grabs Casey by the hair, slams his head into the turnbuckle. The head of Scott Casey slammed in the turnbuckle across the way. Zbyszko brings him this way. Here he comes, right out here onto the table. Scott Casey laying right here on the table, about 1 foot from me. The national heavyweight champion, Larry Zbyszko, has thrown him out here. Scott Casey. Here comes Zbyszko after him. Zbyszko slams his head onto the table. And Larry Zbyszko being backed out of the way by the referee, Juan Reynosa. Casey still out here on the table. Zbyszko grabs him again, slams him down into the table again. Casey about to roll off, and he does, onto the concrete floor. Scott Casey here out onto the concrete floor to HemisFair Arena in San Antonio, Texas. Casey staggering up towards the apron. He gets up onto the apron. Zbyszko trying to get over after him. Here he comes. There's a fist, and here comes Casey again. Scott Casey trying to figure out how to get back into the ring. Larry Zbyszko is over there. I don't know what Zbyszko's doing. It looks like he may be untying the turnbuckle across the way. The plastic cover that conceals that steel turnbuckle over there. Zbyszko was over there untying it, I believe, but here in the ring, he rakes the boots across the eyes of Scott Casey. Casey whipped across the ring. Zbyszko gets a knee to the midsection. Casey goes down. Zbyszko grabs him. Zbyszko trying to pick him up for a suplex. Casey reverses it. Casey with the suplex on Larry Zbyszko. Both men showing the wares of this match as they are about to reach the 15-minute mark. What a fight it has been between the national heavyweight champion Larry Zbyszko and the cowboy from Texas, Scott Casey. 15 minutes, 15 minutes gone. Casey coming up on top of Zbyszko, and it's 2. Zbyszko had enough left to kick out. Casey in front again. Here he comes. The national heavyweight champion holding that back. Casey with a reverse neck breaker. And Zbyszko may be gone. Casey crawls on top, and Zbyszko kicks him off. Casey slams the head of Larry Zbyszko into the mat. Does it again. Here comes Scott Casey. Zbyszko whipped across the ring. Oh, Casey catches him in a sleeper hold, and they bounced him off the rope. Scott Casey in the center of the ring with a sleeper hold on the national heavyweight champion Larry Zbyszko. Can he put him out? Zbyszko crawling to the corner, and he made it, but Casey snatches him out of that corner right back to the sleeper hold. Zbyszko twisting and turning. He doesn't want to go out here. The national heavyweight champion may be going. Looks like he may be out of it. No, he's into the ropes across the way. He's hanging out on the other side of that bottom rope, so he'll get a break from the cowboy. Scott Casey, the referee, Juan Reynosa, backs him out of there. Zbyszko reaches down, snatches the legs of Casey. Here's a count. It's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And Larry Zbyszko, after it looks like he was put out with a sleeper hold, come up and snatch the legs out from underneath Scott Casey in the time of 16 minutes and 35 seconds. Here comes Tully Blanchard into the ring. The Southwest heavyweight champion, Tully Blanchard, into the ring. I believe he's claiming that Zbyszko used the ropes for leverage. Casey is complaining that Zbyszko used the rope for leverage, but here is Eric Embrian now to take the case of Scott Casey to the referee, Juan Reynosa. And Zbyszko pops down Eric Embrian. Casey has Zbyszko. Tully Blanchard now helps out. Blanchard Takes Casey, throws him over the top rope onto the floor. Going after Embry now. They hold Embry, and it's Zbyszko and Blanchard punishing Embry. Here's Hansen into the ring. Hansen back in, and the big bad man from Borger, Texas, cleans out. But the victory will stand. The national heavyweight champion, Larry Zbyszko, the winner. We'll be back with more right after this. Collision with that shoulder tackle. Down went Sawyer. Over the top goes Rich. Oh, Wildfire goes in behind, and then Sawyer ducks as a Wildfire comes charging out there. And here comes Buzz Sawyer and Tommy Rich out on the floor. Sawyer has a chair. Sawyer with a chair lays it into the head of the Wildfire, Tommy Rich. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer taking the chair, laying it into the head of Wildfire Tommy Rich. 5 minutes gone. 5 minutes. They're fighting over on the other side of the ring now. Sawyer is back in the ring. Tommy Rich is out on the floor, onto the concrete. You're watching Southwest Championship Wrestling from the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio, Texas. Big kick by the Mad Dog to the head of Wildfire Tommy Rich. Sawyer's in behind a forearm, knocks Tommy Rich down onto the floor. Now Rich grabs him, slams his head into the concrete as the Mad Dog just walks around the ring. Tommy Rich trying to figure out where he is. Sawyer's going to help him out because he's going to reach out through the ropes and knock him back to the floor. Mad Dog running around the ring. Sawyer grabs him, brings him up into the ring. Rich still has one leg outside on the apron as he's straddled that middle rope. So here he comes over the top rope onto the floor. There are no disqualifications. No disqualifications. Normally that'd be the end of this match. Rich onto the floor. Sawyer staying into the ring. Here comes Sawyer out. Sawyer with a forearm. As Tommy Rich tries to knock him down as they battle it outside the ring. Not much a referee can do in a match like this. There are no disqualifications. There's a knee from Buzz Sawyer as he knocks Tommy Rich down. Sawyer comes up with an elbow. Sawyer slams the head of Tommy Rich into the floor. Sawyer comes over and knocks the bell off the timekeeper's table. He grabs Tommy Rich by the chair. He has him up. What's he going to do with him? He spins him around, throws him down onto the table. Sawyer diving at Rich on the table, and Rich got out of the way. Tommy Rich got out of the way. Sawyer thought he had it all over with, but Rich somehow got out of the way. Now Rich really lays one into him. Rich with a forearm puts Sawyer back onto the table again. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there are no disqualifications in this match as they battle outside the ring. Sawyer throws Rich back into the ring. Oh, nice Nice move there from the Mad Dog. Tommy Rich being covered up here by Buzz Sawyer. There's a count of 2, and Rich kicks out. Sawyer reaches over quickly, grabs him, goes in behind. Holds on. Rich being asked by Lou Thez, the referee, would he like to concede? He says no. Rich trying to knock Sawyer off, and he does. Oh, Tommy Rich got him that time. Tommy Rich trying to pay Buzz Sawyer back for some of the things he did to him. Tommy Rich. What's he gonna do? He lays it in there, but Sawyer comes diving with the head to the midsection. May have been a low blow. 10 minutes. Sawyer on top of him. 2 count. Rich kicks out again. That may have been a low blow with the head of Buzz Sawyer onto Tommy Rich. Sawyer with a side suplex. Throws him down. Sawyer covering up Tommy Rich. Here comes a count. It's 2. Rich kicks off again. Tommy Rich trying to get his way up. Over the top goes Tommy Rich. Shoulder tackle knocks Buzz Sawyer down. The count is 5, 6. Let's get up by a count of 10. Wrestle. Rich is up. Oh, and Sawyer gets out of the way. Buzz Sawyer, Tommy Rich. No disqualification. Off the ropes comes Rich. Sawyer has him for a power slam. Sawyer slowly getting up. Rich laying in the center of the ring. Here comes Sawyer outside. What's he got on his mind? Sawyer's walking out onto the apron. He's going up on the first rope. He's going up on the second rope. He is going up on the top rope. Remember, there are no disqualifications. Sawyer dives, and Rich moves out of the way. Tommy Rich now goes onto the second rope. He dives into the head of Buzz Sawyer. Tommy Rich with a fist to the head of Buzz Sawyer. Lays it right on the chin. Sawyer down, the Mad Dog. Here goes Rich up on the second rope. Dives in there again. Sawyer couldn't get out of the way of that one. And Tommy Rich now has things going his way. Sawyer uppercuts him. There are no disqualifications, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can tell you. Anything goes in this match. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is about to expire here on Southwest Championship Wrestling today. We'll stay with this one as long as we can, but I don't think we'll be able to bring you the completion. We hope you enjoyed it as we went inside the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio Day for Southwest Championship Wrestling. Till next week, Steve Stack saying so long.